thought I just wanted to make this really quick. And when I say quick, I really do mean quick this time. Again, thanks to Paul Joseph Watson, just as last time when he reported about the autistic disabled woman, physically and mentally disabled woman, who was dragged along the ground by these thugs, police. Excuse me. And then I learned that from, again, PJW, that there's been another incident, yet another one, that wouldn't otherwise be mentioned in the national news, but because so many incidents like mine don't get mentioned. We have to do it for ourselves, which is a DIY job. But a woman in her 70s or 80s was arrested for putting they haven't got the time to investigate burglaries of old ladies, but they've got the time to arrest an old lady for taking a photograph of a sticker that it wasn't even a sticker that she put on a poster. It's unbelievable. My gosh. The things we got away with as children in the playground in comparison to this absolute... It's demented. It's utterly demented. So this woman in her 70s or 80s was arrested for taking a photograph of a sticker that she didn't even put it on this damn poster. It's all because it said it's something to do with LGBT. Of course it was. And the sticker said something about keep the gents out of the ladies, or ladies only, or something. I can't even remember. It was something to do with keep a lady's toilets man free, or something like that, words to that effect. It's unbelievable. A few years ago I saw the video of the woman in her 70s who was dragged along the ground by thugs and arrested for putting freedom stickers in windows. I tell you, as I said to my partner, I said many times, people died for our freedoms. My mother would often remind me about the poppy. Just think that of just how utterly ashamed the parents obviously don't care, otherwise they wouldn't have them doing these crimes against humanity. But the grandparents or great-grandparents would be utterly ashamed, especially if they've died fighting for their freedoms or whatnot. Me and my partner are going to be going to New Haven Fort, and I just remember walking around that museum as a child, because I had a much older mother, and she'd say, "Oh yes, I remember I had a Mickey Mouse gas mask. I had one of this particular gas mask as a baby, where she was put inside this special one a special one for babies, where air is pumped inside this cylinder." Yeah, they kept their ration books, my mother and grandmother. It's just unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. And now we're fighting for our freedoms. We're fighting for our everything. My mother was the only brave person to shout in church against the appraisal of our perverted headmaster and the Catholic Church, even though everyone was complaining about it. So I'm so proud. I mean, I've survived so much in my life, but everything that's been done to me and all of those who are complicit in all the nonsense and everything that's happened, adult social care, I'm going to get that they've got to investigate it. So I've been offered this home, which I should have had in the first place. Got to fill out the form, and it's looking like it's mine already. So about damn time as well. But this, you know, I'm suffering with crippling insomnia, and don't be fooled by what you see. I've heard a lot, so much that people don't see. You know, you can't see a disability. Undiagnosed OCD and crippling insomnia, a sleeping disorder. And now I'm helping my partner. I'm not going to say anything about my partner because it's his choice to be private and it's my choice to be outspoken about myself. But because I'm having, you know, he needs my support because he's been forced into poverty and all this borrowing of money. So I'm supporting him with his form as a testimony on my part. But anyway, no. So the corruption continues, and the video that I wasn't sure about uploading, which I think I'm going to upload, but I'm not sure if I will. It's a follow-on from the last one I made. And I was talking about someone in this town, and I was talking about autism and ADHD and narcissistic, how can I put it, gossip, everything that goes against Yahweh. So, and his you know, and you know, I forgot to say in my last, or second to last video, is ADHD. I mean, crumbs, it was one of those diagnoses that I used to think, and I still do, to a degree. Sometimes it's one of those labels that's used by some people, not everyone, but some parents, to excuse their children's bad behaviour. And of course, anyone who's got any common sense will know that it doesn't matter what diagnosis you have, everyone is responsible for themselves. Every single human being. And that's not even speaking scripturally, because scripture, well, we know that we're all going to face the final judgment, and it's looking like it's sooner rather than later. Everyone is going to stand in front of the most most excruciating panel that you will ever stand in front of, in the court of the Shamayim. So yeah, no, ADHD. Ooh. And as I said, everyone's on the autistic spectrum. So, but the whole labelling culture, I moved away from the whole labelling thing years ago. And, you know, I just concentrate on what's getting me. All my success now is due to Abby Yahweh. So on that note, I just thought I might say, I'm already 10 minutes in. Just wanted to say that I've got a lot of truthers people on Facebook, and someone posted something about in a comment they mentioned Todd somebody, I've forgotten who. He's a guy back in the 1970s who released all these Illuminati tapes, radio stuff, and was subsequently bumped off. He may or may not have been assassinated in the psychiatric unit. Well, that's apparently where he was killed by the powers that be for exposing. And I was listening to some of his tapes. I just went and had a look, and I listened to one of the videos where he's speaking. I'm already aware of him, and he was telling the church basically, this is back in the 70s, and he's saying everything that's happening now. And he knows about the Rothschilds, he knows about this and that, and some of the people in the church didn't agree with him, but he was saying you need to arm yourself because you'll be shot at and all this sort of thing in the end times. He also said some other very interesting things. Now, I've got a bit of a black sense of humour, and it's a coping mechanism, but I was going to make a YouTube video that was very tongue-in-cheek title. The title was going to be Illuminati Witch Used to Phone Me. That was going to be the title of my YouTube video. Who am I referring to? None other than Dave PROWSE, because this Illuminati whistleblower was talking about Star Wars, and of course it was also mentioned C.S. Lewis and J.R. Tolkien, because I had The Hobbit in my Christmas stocking when I was about 8 years old, and I remember the picture of the runes. I remember Bilbo Baggins and the runes. Now apparently this is all satanic, Masonic witchcraft that was never meant to be released to the public upon pain of death. And I remember as an 8-year-old in my bed looking at this book and looking at that page and thinking, oh, those runes, whatever they are, look very mystical, and this was pre me going into astrology and being very nearly drawn into Dianetics and Scientology much later on. So this Todd man and then he went on to speak about Star Wars. Because a lot of these stories, they're read to you when you're a child at primary school. But he mentioned Star Wars, and he said every actor in Star Wars is an initiated witch, Illuminati witch. Which, of course, is no surprise because of the symbolism in so many movies, but and the connections. But so that would include the most famous evil villain of all time in the biggest movie of all time, and that's Darth Vader, aka Dave PROWSE, who used to ring me up So I was saying to my partner, making a dark joke about it, I said to him, so I've had an Illuminati witch ring me up. My mother just didn't like the sound of him. She didn't care how famous he was. She just thought, And, well, at that time, I would just give my number to anyone. I just thought, oh, it's Darth Vader. I didn't think, oh, he's an old man on crutches. But, and I said, oh, you too have a link to an Illuminati witch because my partner's mother's friend is, her cousin played CHEWBACCA. I thought it was CP3O, no, it was CHEWBACCA, which is the part that Dave PROWSE turned down for Darth Vader because everybody remembers the villain. So, and someone I was speaking, a very, very talented person from Matthew 25 knows quite a few famous people from Essex and Surrey. He knows Surrey very well, even though he's from Guernsey. And I've been to Guernsey. Guernsey to him is how Eastbourne is to me. So there we go. But he said the actor's name who played CHEWBACCA, and saying, oh, he's got connections to Surrey. And I said, oh, my partner's from Surrey. My mother was born in Surrey as well. And I said, he's my partner's mother's friend's cousin. The world is such a small place anyway. I was just looking at stills from a movie that I went to primary school with the Powney twins who were in Hollyoaks, and thankfully they've got fond memories of me, according to my sister. But they were in a movie that had Amanda Burns. It looks... It's one of those movies that makes all British people look like pompous and like they're all related to the royal family, one of those, dare I say, "Oh, don't hug me, I'm British," is one of the lines in the movie. But Seaford was my hometown, and it was also famous for Jordan, who got Adamant to write to me because she worked across the road from our house. But she was on a list of celebrities who bumped off thanks to Mark Devlin and his information. But, the world is a very small place. One of my American Facebook friends who loves Adamant just happened. You couldn't make this up. She has a friend who is friends with my school friend here in the UK. Because my friend passed on a message, and I thought, so Facebook, it's all designed to make the world a smaller place. But yeah, no, I just thought I'd just throw that one into the mix because not everyone gets to say, I've had a Hollywood Illuminati witch ring me up. And it doesn't matter who trolls you or whatever, because my own family, my sisters can confirm all of this. My mother's no longer here, but the look on her face, I don't think it would be appropriate for me to repeat what she said. But I did actually work with a Freemason, and I do quite. But I have to say though, it's not. I know it's not funny at all. It's not. Because I question everything and the things he said. Like, to my mother, he said that girl should be impregnated, and I'd like to be the one to do it. And of course, we know about the rituals and all that stuff. And Helen round the corner has just told me that, because I used to work with him in this town, and Helen's just told me that she had a grandfather or great-grandfather who was a Freemason. Which could explain a lot of the out there stuff, shall we say, and the mental health side of things, and how she said her mum said people say she's crazy, and oh gosh, you know, we all get sort of like put into this sort of but anyway, I just thought I don't like the labelling thing, but it's all very fascinating, but it certainly helps you. It certainly helps you to stay. It helps you to just have discernment, because once you've got all that knowledge, and if you don't develop a very, 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 very black sense of humour, you could go mad, get suicidal, get depressed. So you have to have these coping mechanisms. So, and on that note, I shall say Shalom Shabbat. Shalom Shabbat Yahweh. Cheerio.